Hey Guardians, so we've already seen some crazy Solo 3.0 builds this season for the Titans with classy restoration, but this build today is going to cause ignitions like you've never seen before. With this build you'll be able to run around, add clearing to a whole new level with double explosions, which you can chain between over and over, and if that's not enough, you'll be buffing your DPS from multiple sources too. So stay tuned because this build is a crazy one, and you really don't want to miss it. Now this video is sponsored by US MMO. If you're looking for cheaper Destiny 2 silver, you can find them down below along my discount code. And now Guardians, let's bring in the flame. Now firstly, as always, if you do like these build videos and you want to see more like this, then feel free to view the full collection down in the playlist below. But today we'll be running around killing multiple adds with ignitions, which have been enhanced by multiple fragments and mods, which you'll be able to keep not only a buff to your DPS, but you'll also have classy restoration active as well. Now in a previous video I did cover the Loreley Splendor Helm build, which to be honest is better if you want to go the god mode route, but this build will make your DPS a whole lot better. So the way you'll effectively use this new Titan build is first run in and get a final blow with your hammer. This will spawn a solar elemental well while giving you roaring flames and radiant, and then picking up that well and hammer while passing through the sunspot created will grant you cure, restoration, soul invictus, firewalker, and a solar weapon DPS increase. From here you'll become a complete god, just obliterating everything in your path with solar ignitions for extended timers on those buffs every time you get a kill. Now the downside to this build is that, well, you have to get the first melee final blow so that you can actually trigger all the buffs, which is easier said than done because you can easily miss your target a lot, or you might end up hitting that enemy but it's not enough to exactly kill them. But once you've got that final blow with the melee, you're pretty much all set because you'll be on that rampage mode and you'll not only be buffing your weapons but your abilities will also be buffed as well, allowing you to eventually one tap those enemies with that hammer afterwards, as long as you keep killing adds while you have those buffs active. Now quickly going over the setup of this build, the very first thing you're going to want to make sure you have on is a good solar weapon for ad clearing, and a good solar heavy weapon for DPS. I would look at going with an energy weapon that has either a firefly or dragonfly perk, so that you can create that extra explosion for ad clearing. Otherwise the subclass we're going with is the Solo 3.0 Sunbreaker, Hammer of Soul. Then we'll use a rally barricade with this, a throwing hammer, and a solar grenade. Aspects are going to be Soul Invictus, which will trigger our restoration when passing through sunspots, and Roaring Flames to increase our abilities damage. For the fragments we have Ember of Eruption, Ember of Imperium, Ember of Torches, and Ember of Solace. In short, these will buff our ignitions and effects. The exotic we're going with today is going to be the Path of the Burning Steps. Good old exotic, but the last solo build we did cover the Loreley Splendor Helm, so if you'd rather use that one then you can find that build video in the playlist down below. But with the Burning Steps, solar final blows periodically grant an escalating bonus to weapon damage. This stacks up to 4 times and it stacks with things like the Font of Might and Radiant. For the mods starting with the helmet, we actually have Font of Might to increase our solar weapon DPS, which is why you want to run solar weapons. Then in the gauntlets we have Melee Wellmaker, so we can actually spawn the solar wells to trigger Font of Might, and of course our champion mod if you need it. In the chest armor we have elemental ornaments to spawn more wells on random kills, because you don't want to always rely on Melee Wellmaker in endgame PvE, but slot on your damage resist mods with that. And then in the legs we'll have Well of Life, not required if you have restoration active, but it helps for the times that you don't have it active. Then lastly in the class armor we have one of the new artifact mods here. Your ignitions do increase damage in an increased radius. And then Ray of Precision. While Radiant, solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. So using that and Firefly or Dragonfly is going to give you that double ignition. And remember that you need to trigger the Radiant first by getting a melee final blow with the Ember of Torches. And once you've got that buff active, as long as you're getting kills afterwards, you'll be able to extend that timer so you're not always relying on getting those hammer kills. Other than that, when you're investing into stats and these stat mods, you want to ideally go with Resilience for the 40% damage reduction, and then Recovery as your second stat if you can. Now overall I do like this build a lot and I 100% recommend you give this one a try, especially if you don't have Loreley Splendor Helm, but it will help you a lot in those activities where you're either struggling to stay alive, or you just can't deal enough DPS, or you don't have many choices for ad clearing. But guys, that is all for this quick new Titan solo build for the new Solo 3.0 subclass update in Destiny 2 Witch Queen Season of the Haunted. Next, as always, if you want to see more like this then you can view that full playlist down below, so be sure to check that out next. And guys, I'll catch you all in the next build video.